All right, I'm recording.
I'm recording. Are you recording?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hi, Kay.
Hell yeah. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Did you disappear?
You can't hear me at all. Gosh darn it. Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are. You came back for a second when you said, gosh darn it.
I mean, I could just hold the phone to my ear, I suppose, and see if that does better. Yeah. My elbow's gonna hate this for the next hour.
No. Here, what I do, I tuck it into my bra and it just kind of like hangs out in my boobs.
Your phone, you tuck it in your bra and it hangs out in your boobs?
Yeah, and that's hands-free boob assisted device. Did this when I was in high school. My mom was like, "You're gonna give yourself breast cancer." You know, and then I would keep it in my back pocket. She'd go, "You're gonna give yourself butt cancer." You know, like
hilarious. Where does she keep her phone?
In her purse, like under 3 layers of like tinfoil.
That's amazing. Does she actually have tinfoil
in her
purse?
she does have tinfoil in her purse, but it's for a different reason. Just roasting my mom.
Tell me more.
My mom once got one of her credit cards information stolen when she was riding the subway in New York because someone bumped up against her, and I guess they had one of those RFID readers or whatever they are. And so the way that you protect against, like, you protect your wallet is that you literally just line it with tinfoil. And so all of her credit cards are...
That is wild.
Yeah. No, I mean, she doesn't even go to, like, New York that often. So it's like, I don't know that it's necessary anymore.
I mean, but she'll never forget. She'll always be tinfoil ready.
Yeah. It's a very small amount of tinfoil. Ready. It's not like a crazy person kind of tinfoil. It's a...
I really want you to wrap the outside of her person tinfoil.
Oh my god. Just crinkle all over the place. You're safe from radiation.
So you're safe from radiation.
You're not getting any incoming calls.
I also love the idea of you like opening up her lining in her purse and then tinfoiling it and then sewing the lining back up. Just the whole thing. But she wouldn't know. You need to get a decoy purse so you can make this happen. That'd be a great April Fool's.
Oh, my mom has like, it's hard to find it. Like, I think it's just it's not like a fancy purse, but it's like definitely older and it's very plain. And I just don't think that it's around, you know, like I do look for like very similar purses to hers because I know she always wears them out and she just likes this very one particular style.
I mean, how very neurodivergent of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, that's just this household.
Yeah, mine too. So, hi listener, how are you? Thank you for being here for all of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Kate, how are you? What's going on?
I'm doing well. I told you about the markers. I'm like really enjoying the Sharpie creative paint markers.
Yeah, they look so
That's
fun.
It. That's like my whole world right now.
My kids are on spring break. We had our first day of spring break yesterday and we had a great time. The kids did awesome. I just had a significantly low energy day, but like we went to the library, they went to my office, they ran errands with me, and we had a great time. They were super fun. We ended up, when Andrew got home, I was like, hi, babe. I need to disappear for a little while. So I like went upstairs and just laid down and closed my eyes for an hour. And then we all went downstairs and watched the Muppets. We had watched like the first half of the movie and then we watched the second half of the movie last night and it was really fun. That was yesterday. And then today, I mean, yeah, great morning. Mom came and grabbed the kids and now I'm just chilling.
Nice. I love a relaxing morning. Is relaxing like maybe too generous a word for it?
Yeah, definitely. But like I get to move through the world without my kids. And that's really nice. Like I get to go to the office today and get my work done. And then I plan on coming home and doing some writing. I would really like to start going through Jude's room and packing things and getting rid of things. Listener, in case you missed it, we're buying a house, we're moving, and I'm I'm terrible at preparing. So
No, you're doing.
that's
You've got so many things going on.
yeah. I also just am not good at doing things before they need to be done. Like, I thrive on deadlines for one thing. And also, I don't know how to pack until it's like time to throw things in a container and run out the door. Because like how do you know what you don't need? And I know everyone's like, well, it's the things you don't use every day, but like what don't I use every day? Riddle me this.
It's gonna be
So,
something that you look at and you go, "When did I? I don't remember owning this."
yeah. Well, and like I'm sure there'll be plenty of things that like I'm able to get rid of right now. I'm
Hmm.
really looking forward to like going through the kids' old books and
Yeah.
getting rid of the things that they've grown out of. Yeah. Listener, you are I bet they're on the edge of their seat with this one.
Yes.
Yes.
We're so high
Tell
energy.
me more. Tell me more about your saga of packing. So Kate, what are you like working on right now? What's going on there?
I am finishing up. I'm calling it finishing up. It's not that different from where I was like probably with for the last two episodes. I could be
Mhm.
real. But I think the difference is I've gotten to a place where I feel a little bit better about it.
Awesome. And you feel like you know your path? Because that's always
Yeah,
like the
I'm
big
starting to
thing to
like
me when I get
see
stuck.
the final like steps kind of falling into place. I think I
Yeah.
get at very similar where if I don't know exactly what my next step is because I haven't like broken it off of like the larger chunk, the larger
Hmm.
chunk of like what's left to do really overwhelms me.
I always find that like when I'm like stuck in a spot and I don't know exactly like how to get from A to C, being stuck in that space, have a really hard time getting words down
Mm,
because I haven't figured out what B is comprised of. And so, like, once I figure that out, I'm like running. But
mm.
until then, I'm just like peeking in drawers, like trying to figure out like what fits together. Yeah, I was just there with like not the last two chapters I wrote, but the chapter before it.
Mm.
I was really struggling with like how to hit the tone of that scene and like how to move it along. And
See,
then once I figured
tone
it
is
out,
like
like everything happened.
tone is one of
Am
those
I?
like
Mhm.
no, you're good. I just like
Okay.
I'm trying to think of like any kind of thought to like
Okay. Build
slide
upon.
into. I'm laying down bricks as I'm walking.
Yeah. I mean, you just described my writing process. So
Literally though, like
I
that's my
know.
writing process for the most part too.
Yeah. But okay, so tone.
Tone. I well, so the thought that I had while you said your thought was that,
Hmm.
tone is like so hard to hit, but I know I'm starting to see this pattern in my writing where I do kind of subconsciously know when I go off tone. And it's
Hmm.
and the subconscious the reaction that I kind of put out into the world is I hate what I'm writing
Yeah. Yeah, mood.
and I don't know why. That's the reason.
Oh, that's interesting. You don't know why.
Well, when I don't know why, I think it's like, oh, well, here I'm writing a part of the story that feels very necessary to like story beats or like whatever
Uh-huh.
emotional kind of like arc we're in. I don't love conflict in my personal life or honestly all that much on script. I know it's so necessary and it's like what
Hmm.
fuels and drives like your attachment to characters and what makes the story like have staying power, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I kind of shy away from it a lot.
I never feel like your stories are conflict avoidant.
Yeah.
Not at all. I would say trying to see if I can pick up what you're describing based on like my experience of reading your books.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say you're conflict avoidant in like as a writer. I would say that like sometimes the conflict is more internalized within the
Yeah.
characters then yeah, I could definitely see that like there's something bothering them but they don't say it out loud quite a bit.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
maybe that's what you're picking up on, but I would say that there tends to be quite a bit of conflict and your characters have growth. Do you not agree with that?
No, I'm just like trying to like think of anything I can respond to that with. I feel like I've reached into a big empty bucket.
I would say that like I understand what you're saying as far as like there are obvious decisions I could make for some of my past books that would have probably stimulated some readers more to have it
Mm.
happen. But when I'm a reader and those really big, like public, embarrassing things happen to characters, I shrivel,
Mm.
right? Like Like, I don't want to read that, and so I don't write it. I'll find a different way for the conflict to kind of blow up. Isn't the worst thing that could possibly happen to this character. And I know that's against a lot of writing advice, but I don't think we have to humiliate our characters for them to grow. And like, as a reader that feels a lot of like secondhand embarrassment and a lot of secondhand like empathy,
Mm.
or I guess not secondhand empathy, but just full grown empathy.
Well, so I do have a thought on like
Yeah.
that piece of advice, and like it kind of falls into this. I think I might even brought it up like a week or two ago. I think that some writing advice is so like genre or medium specific, that
Mhm.
when people kind of try to take it away, like out and apply it to writing in other like areas, that it falls flat. And I think the thing you just said about characters who like this needs to be the worst possible thing that could ever happen to them.
Mhm.
Also, like we're writing genre romance. Like
Yeah.
there needs to be a capital HEA. If the worst of all worst things happens to a character, I think, like maybe their parents die and maybe all their loved ones are, horrifically killed or
Mhm.
like hate them. And oh, what if like your dog, went missing? Couldn't even do it. I had to be like, went missing. Couldn't commit.
Couldn't even commit, not
I
even the
couldn't
hypothetical.
commit. Very few, I think people are brave enough
Yeah, you know,
to do the theoretical with that.
I mean, we're only
Literally, okay,
kicking
but you
dogs
know
in the
what?
face
You
and
know what?
body.
I've these last few in the last couple of months, I've been rereading the same version of this one chapter to our critique group. So I have this character who's like an old frail man, and we love him because he's our hero's dad, and he's the hero's like grappling with the fact that his dad is aging and he takes care of him. He's
Mhm.
like, what am I gonna do when he gets worse? He's like having
Mhm.
these I think feelings that a lot of young
Yeah,
adults and kind of like just regular
it's
adults
relatable stuff. Yeah.
you know, can like start to feel around 2030s
Yeah.
upwards.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
it's a feeling that can like take up a good portion of your life, depending when it happens.
Yeah.
And, so like it's a very relatable feeling, and we have a lot of sympathy towards this old man character. And like the bad guy like slaps him and he falls over. And the way
Yeah.
everyone screamed at me, like, how could you elder abuse this old man? I'm like, it's the black moment. It's this is the bad, everything terrible happens. All he
The
did
bad
was fall
guy's
over.
doing it, okay?
Bad guy's even doing it. No one good is doing
Yeah.
it. It's like,
No one's happy
guys,
about this.
like we're not reveling in this. This is like no, it's supposed to hurt.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's so funny.
Anyway,
Um,
but
I
so
had
like
half
my
a
thought
thought.
is
Okay.
some advice doesn't work outside of its genre. And like so for romance, when we like if someone says you need to make these stakes as like high as they possibly can, that doesn't ring true, because I think the capacity for where the stakes are might be a little bit metered depending on what
Well,
subgenre you're in.
and then I also like how, yeah, exactly. Like if you're writing suspense, romance or something along those lines, like, yeah, you're gonna, or dark romance, you're going to like do the worst things possible.
So like I think there's also like a whole range of like what are you personally
Yeah.
aiming for tonally? Like this is the tonal question of like
Well,
what's the
and
range
that's
that you're
exactly
allowing things to like touch?
Well, that's exactly what my thought was. Cause like, yes, I'm writing romantic comedy and I do want conflict there and stuff like that. But I also want my books to feel really cozy, right? Like,
Exactly.
I was talking to, cause on Cheap Smut, Katie and Carl did Accidentally Under Your Tree, and it was the first book by me Katie had read. And she and I were talking, and she was like, I was so stressed, but I also felt like I was getting a warm hug all the time. Right. And I'm like, that is exactly what I want. I want you on the edge of your seat, but I also want you to feel like it's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well,
everything's
like
good.
I think the bar like for where the climax hits in romance for the most part it's
Mm
I mean, and there is still some discussion like on this, it can be
hmm. Mm hmm.
but I think kind of the area you want to hit is this relationship might die. They might walk away from each other and never talk and never have all the good moments they've had together
Yeah.
again. And that's
Well,
what
and
the worst that it can get is, you know?
I don't know. It's just like so often I feel like characters are like publicly shamed.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I really like it makes me feel terrible inside my body as a reader to read that. And so every
Mm,
once in a while I'm like, this is not the harshest thing that could happen to my character, but also it feels like if I did the harshest thing, would that really like serve them? Would it serve the story? Or does this work just as well? Right? Like the conflict blew up. Everything's happening, but it's not happening also in a predictable way because I'm not doing the absolute worst thing that could happen to them. And I think that that's pretty freaking cool too.
yeah.
And so it's just like all these blanket pieces of advice. Like you do have to pick and choose like what actually applies to you.
It's so see, this is one of those things that like when I hear advice about it and I go, okay, ingesting this, keeping it in mind for later. But then like when I go to start a project, I'm like, well, how do I know what tone I'm starting out with? I need to write the whole thing first.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think fucks me up a little bit.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm going through and fixing with Remy and Alicia right now is the tone of my first draft was very up and down in a lot of ways. Like kind of
Mm,
started off more zany and then it got a bit more like serious and heavy as like they were processing.
oh,
And
for
so the
sure.
tone really didn't understand like how to be consistent but handle all of the like backstory and emotions and all of that, right? And so this draft that I'm working on now is really going through and fixing those tonal issues.
There's this okay, I do want to like rail jump to a parallel rail.
Let's go. I love
Okay.
parallel
Uh
rails.
so at this point in time, the Severance finale just aired. I know you're
Okay,
you're
we
watching
can't
it.
talk about it.
Should I hold back spoilers?
I haven't even started. Please hold back. If we could not talk about it at all,
Oh, okay.
I'm
Okay,
so
never
sorry.
mind.
I'm the worst. I'm
Oh,
so protective of everything. And I've been so lucky to like not have the internet ruin anything. I can't believe it. I really can't.
it's me.
It
It's
even
like
it's
I'm
you.
gonna do it.
Don't. Even Andrew was like, yeah, Reddit fucked me. Like, oh, I'm so
Oh.
sorry. So I can't believe how lucky I've been. And like now that the finale's aired, I can be like, hey, we should get Apple
You
and do
should.
that.
You
But
should. You should binge all of it. We rewatched the finale episode just by itself last night because I'm
ugh,
so mad that like whenever I'm in a mood of like, oh, I don't really want to watch anything that's like, you really need to engage with it in your brain,
mm-hmm.
like you need to be paying attention. Like I don't want to put something, complex on. But
Yeah,
like every single time it like sucks me in and
it's such a good
it
show.
it's so well made and
It
precise,
is.
and I literally said this to Austin last night that I have such confidence in them being able to pull off season 3
That's
because they know
awesome.
what they're doing. You know, like I feel like
Yes.
because people have been started making the joke like, "Oh, we don't know where the season finale is going. The
Uh-huh.
writers are just going to steal ideas from Reddit and just do whatever."
Yeah.
Like they've got so many open. But I think it's the exact opposite. I think everything they've shown has been
Everything's
so
so intentional.
meticulous.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is so cool. I cannot wait to watch this show. I feel like I've only seen season 1, but I feel like the show knew its arcs the whole way through.
Oh, for sure.
Unlike Lost that had a lot of crazy things happening, I definitely feel like Lost was throwing things into the story to keep it like right, and like also you had to watch it week to week. You couldn't
Mm.
sit down and binge it when it first came out, right? When it
So
first
there
started
wasn't really
like
a lot.
airing.
I mean, and there wasn't really like
There
streaming
was nothing.
services. It was all live, right? Like you
Absolutely.
watch it
Yeah,
once and you might record it yourself on like a DVR.
absolutely. And then also you might like rent the series or buy the DVDs. Like that was the level of accessibility,
The
right?
fucking bygone era.
Ugh, seriously, all that special like footage. I miss the special behind the scenes footage of that time, which we have lamented before.
Mm.
But I definitely feel like also Lost, I think CBS or ABC, I can't remember, maybe Fox, who knows. They did not set off to do a beginning, middle, and end to this story. They started and they were like, wow, we still have a viewership. I guess we do this, right? Like, and I I feel like it really didn't have a sense of like what message it was giving, what direction it was going, and then it had to find ways to tie all the strings together.
Mm,
But I don't feel that way about Severance. I feel like Severance really understands the television medium
mm.
and like has set off to tell a beginning, middle, and end. I don't feel like any of it is meant to drag on forever. And I really appreciate that. I just found out that season 3 of Wheel of Time is on Prime, and I'm really excited about that too.
I haven't seen Wheel of Time yet, but like I've heard a lot about it. That makes me like, should I? It seems very intense as like just a series to get into.
I read the books. I read them years ago. And so I was really interested to see how the books translated into television.
Mm,
I think, and this might be controversial, but I think that they made some really good choices on how to like bring the books into a television storyline because obviously the books are gigantic and there's a
mm.
lot of different storylines happening in each of them.
Oh, and you gotta decide like
Um
which ones are gonna make it to the screen.
yeah, absolutely. Like you can't follow everything. I am really enjoying the television show. I think you would like it. I think there will be elements where you're like, don't roll your eyes again, don't roll your eyes again, don't roll your eyes again. But like, that's kind of true of like most shows in general. And then I think fantasy it's harder for fantasy to take itself seriously.
Hmm. Okay.
Does that make sense? Like, am I?
No.
No, it doesn't. Okay. So I think
Sorry,
a
just
lot of times,
give it to me another time. Like one more time.
okay, I think that sometimes, and maybe this is just like my experience watching fantasy, but I think that sometimes when things happen in fantasy series, it can feel very tropey or like the magic element doesn't display well in like graphics or something along those lines, and I just feel like I'm like this is not working for me, right?
Mm.
Didn't get that sense a whole lot with Wheel of Time and how the magic works in the series and how they like display it. But I do a lot of times with like fantasy shows feel like regardless of how hard they're trying not to be campy, a lot of times it'll come off as campy to me.
Mm. I get you. I
But
think
I do think you would like the show. I'm
okay.
enjoying it. There is no, we can go into this another time. But yeah.
Do you want to tell me about where
Okay, do
you're
we
at in
want to
your
come
book?
back to writing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so where I'm at in my book is somewhere around the middle point. And with them being a second chance romance with a divorced couple sort of thing, I am really like threading the needle of like intensifying their relationship in like this very it's almost like they don't know they're sitting on memory foam and they just keep on sinking in very slowly.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
that.
thanks. Yeah, like there's just like if they knew that this bond was being created, they would totally run away. They would stop it, they would cut it off, like especially one of the characters. The other one I think would be like I think
Kind of
that
about it.
very much about it, but like the blinders are on, right? Like I think that they don't know that like this is the direction that they're subconsciously intending to go because they are refusing to see it. But if they were to pay any attention to their mind, their intentions, all this stuff, they would see like, oh, this is definitely what I want, right?
Hmm.
The other person I think would like if they saw it coming, they would like hard
Run for the
close
hills.
that door, never happening, 1,000 times fuck no. And so yeah, it's just it's an interesting hill to just keep on pushing them down.
Yeah, no, I dig that. I think it's nice to
Yeah.
see the slow progression of like slow lowering of barriers.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
Yeah.
my challenge in this is to continue to intensify the physicality of their relationship while not actually being physical at all. Because like the readership still wants that, and I still want to do that. It's an interesting like it's like that whole metaphor of like I think it was Nora Roberts described writing romance as like dancing inside of a phone booth with your arms tied behind your back or something, right?
Oh
Like
my god.
yeah, because there's so many restrictions, but you have to like
Hmm.
create something new, right?
Yeah.
And so it's an interesting like process to go through, and I'm really happy with how it's going. I have a friend, like, she's a veterinary assistant, and so I have her reading it so she can tell me all, like, the vet stuff, if it's cool and working and stuff, and she just finished, not yesterday, but the day before, she finished all my chapters that I have done, and she's like, "Okay, where are the next ones?" And I'm like, "Oh, yay, I love that." That is exactly the feeling I want you to have.
Oh,
So,
that's so perfect.
yeah, I was so excited. And then we
I
haven't
see.
had, like, a deep dive on,
Mm,
all of our thoughts and feelings, but she did also give me some input on how to, like, fix some vet stuff and animal stuff.
nice. All right. I'm glad
Yeah.
that you have someone who's like able to give you the realism
It's
check on
kind
the
of
vet
her
stuff.
fault that we
Yeah.
ended up here. Yeah, because I was trying to figure out what sort of career Owen could have from Just Fake Married, and I knew that he had to have, like, some sort of reason why, like, he couldn't just tell someone to, like, mind their own damn business about who he was dating,
Mhm.
right? And so it couldn't be a direct coworker, and so that's how, like, he ended up working at, like, dog sanctuary. And that's how we ended up having the donor that was being a nuisance. And
Mm.
like, that's how we ended up with this whole ass cast of veterinarians that I'm working on. Because, of course, Remy went to vet school with him and, like, everything grew from there. So the reason it's Danielle's fault is that she worked at a dog sanctuary that I modeled Owen's work around. She gets to tell me if all my vet stuff is right. You were going to say something. You said, "Can I just say, I think?" And then I was
Yeah.
like, "No, I'm going to keep talking." So,
I really loved the realistic banter between, like, the way that it feels that they do know each other and they're just kind of
yeah,
like a little bit aggressive towards each other. I say that
that's
it's really
awesome.
all Alicia. She's
She, yeah, she's definitely like more arm, like fists out. Like she's ready to go.
oh, for sure. And then like
Yeah.
there's like a bird or something that gets in her house and she freaks
Mm-hmm.
out and he runs over and breaks down her door trying to like
I
get to
know.
her and like save the
Oh,
day. And then she's like,
yeah.
"You'd made my day worse."
Yeah. This is actually really bad. Like,
No, and I
my
I fucking
fucking
love that
door,
scene.
man.
The banter in that scene was just so beautiful and like
Yay.
I'm really enjoying these two and the
Thank
shine you're
you.
putting on every new chapter. Cuz
Oh
like I
my
think you
gosh.
had the first draft written out, right? And you're just
Yeah.
polishing it.
And I'm adding scenes as I'm realizing they need to be there. Like the
Mm,
whole bird thing was a complete addition to the draft.
okay.
And the thing is, like, I always wanted to be in the story, but it was one of those things that I was just like, as I was writing the first draft, I was like, oh, it feels like cliched and like this and that. And so I decided that because it felt that way, I wouldn't include it. And then through the course of like doing more reading and learning more in the practice of like writing and everything, I came to the realization of like, it feels cliched, but like it's also exactly what you want to read as a reader, and so like it's something that readers want to read. Like the cliche is there because it's a delight,
Yeah.
right?
No, of course.
Right? And so that's why it got added into the draft. And yeah, so there's been a couple of scenes that were added to the story just to make those like moments. There was a chapter that was added in the very beginning that kind of like solidified a bit more, I don't know, the excitement of like what could happen there sort of thing, and then like added him coming to her rescue like scene, even though like he really did just fuck everything up. So but in a very sweet way.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
in a very I think attractive way because there is that you took out a
Yay.
door kind of like
Yeah.
there's a
I can't.
caveman aspect here that's just like
Yes.
very oh okay.
Yeah.
No, I do love that part so
I do as
intensely.
well. Yes.
I think I've
Um
definitely struggled with similar things to the like
yeah.
I think this is a really great idea and it's like maybe it's cliche or tropey or maybe it's just cheesy and silly. And like
Yeah.
I write it down when I'm in love with it and then like when I come back over it I'm like, can I take this out? Like it seems cliche, it seems bad for what and I'm trying not to like bring that criticism or that kind of critique to my like I need to figure out how not to
Yeah.
do that or not to edit in that mood and
I
like
definitely
always
see what you're
identify
saying.
when I'm in that mood, you know?
One of the things I would suggest is reading Seven Figure Fiction by Theodora Taylor.
Mm.
And
You have recommended
she's
this book to me so many times. It's
for
on
sure I
my
have.
I'm sure it's, like, in my cart on, like, some book website.
You could listen to the audiobook if you want to borrow mine.
Ooh, maybe.
For one thing, she's a really great storyteller. Like she did screenwriting before she got into writing romance novels.
Okay.
And so like, she has a really strong understanding of creating story with like the beats hitting certain marks, knowing that like commercial breaks are coming and like stuff like that, right? So like she's incredibly smart, right? So even if all you did was like follow, like search her on like a podcast and listen to her, like everything she says there, that would be worth your time too, because she is incredibly smart. She's really good, and every time I see that her name pop up on a podcast that I listen to, I am so excited for the information coming. But this book is great because it's like goes over, listener, I know you might know this, you probably know this, Kate definitely knows this. But Seven Figure Fiction by Theodora Taylor, I think it's called T. Taylor, like that. I think that's what she calls her name on that. She goes through what makes tropes appealing, right? And she calls it the butter and like what creates the flavor, right?
Ooh, okay.
Because like if you're saying enemies to lovers, but they just have like one little disagreement the first time they meet and then they make up right away, that's not enemies to lovers. That's not what anyone's here for.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's the ongoing, like,
yes, it's the biting
consistent
back
dislike.
And forth.
But I think
Yes,
it's also
man.
the moment when that slips, like you've been
Yes.
deep in it and you're like, well,
One of the
it's the
things
moment
I
when
love-
they finally like show a little affection that like
Yeah.
makes it so
I can't
sweet.
fight this feeling anymore. Right? Like that moment where like the realization of, oh no, right? But then another moment in Enemies to Lovers that I love is like when they fully believe they still hate each other, but they're also like, but I really want you to take off your clothes. Right? Like that moment is always so good. But like, yeah, it's like all those juicy moments that actually create the trope and make it good.
Yeah.
And so reading that book has really liberated me to lean into the tropes and enjoy them and enjoy writing them and like not feel like I can't do it because it's been done. The reason I want to read this is the same reason other people want to read this. And so I need to put it in there.
Yeah, I think I'm just thinking about like the building blocks of like story and like the way that there's this word microtropes that gets used every now and then. I
love microtropes.
I wish I understood it better. I wish I had more examples. I wish I had
you
a
and I
harder definition for it.
You and I did an entire episode on microtropes, and it was
We
one
did.
of my favorite conversations I've ever had.
I still feel like I don't grasp what they are, really. I'm gonna be
Really?
I mean,
Okay,
it's like
so-
it's a trope, but it's smaller.
Yeah, it's like a trope, but it's like maybe behavior.
Also, like the way that I like to sort things, I do like to make the umbrellas. I would do like if enemies to lovers is the trope, then the consistently hating each other until the moment that they slip and show a little affection is the micro trope, under that umbrella. My personal preferences towards like taxonomy are like I like things to line up and not overlap, so I understand why it wouldn't work.
I don't understand what you just said. Can you describe that again?
Like if one micro trope could belong to several umbrella tropes, I think like then that would drive me. I know it can, but that would make me mad. So I'm like, maybe this isn't the best way.
Well, because like the rolling up of the sleeves, right? Like,
yeah, that could go anywhere.
And it can also intensify multiple different types of tropes, right? Like friends to lovers, they're just now realizing that they're attracted to this person, and then they do the sleeve roll up and they're like, God damn, forearms, you little slut, right?
Yes.
But like it has a different vibe with enemies to lovers, but like it's the same micro trope.
Well, yeah, I think like the character's gonna like receive that moment and that information differently.
Yeah.
Every single time I think of like enemies to lovers now, I think of this like this Tumblr post that was from Hating on Godot, which is just a blog I love.
Okay.
That it's burned into my brain because this is a person who's like just every shitpost I immensely respect because I'm like, you know what, your brain's so fucking big and squishy. It was talking about I can't imagine hating someone and being like super in lust with them. And so then like, and it's like a one-off thought from them that I was like, I need to like wrestle with this every goddamn time I think about enemies to lovers. Like, how do you?
I love that.
Oh, justify these two emotions existing at the same
Yeah.
time. And like I do think digging into that is like something that can make a book really good, but
Mhm.
it just haunts me, you know?
Yeah, you've said this before.
Oh,
And
have
I think
I?
that it's like, yeah, you have to me. I don't know if listeners heard it, but like I think that it's a really good point to make. Like, cause like as one, like me, myself, my character, like me as me, I can totally see how like I hate this person, but like I also see the appeal, right? Like sort of thing. But I think like my husband would not feel that way. He's like, I hate you. You are ugly in every way possible, right? Like there is no like middle ground for him. And so like that's an interesting like bridge to bring that character across. And I think that that would make a really cool story for enemies to lovers.
100%. There's also like another angle you can take it from, like if a character maybe, I think like romance is like really set up for this. There's circumstances which make a character kind of like the this is my brother's best friend, so of course we could never date, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of a, well, I can't have a crush on this person. And so there's this source of I can't have a crush on this person no matter how intensely attractive I find them. So like you could
Mm-hmm.
have the attraction first, but then there's that knee jerk I have to force myself to hate you, kind of like response
Gotcha.
happening there.
Yeah.
And that the arc of the book becomes undoing that.
Gotcha. I like that.
Where I'm at in my book is
Mm-hmm.
they are just about to I'm at the makeup and kind of grand gesture kind of moment. And when we talk about tone, like what, because I started rereading the book from the beginning, like the tone is so different from at the beginning to me. And I was like, I
Okay.
have to like really fine tune this because it felt like it was really leaning into like the goofy, the campy kind of like
Mm-hmm.
superhero story. And by the end, there's this kind of, I feel like I leaned too hard the other way over the course of the story and like grounded things too much to the point where like the superhero battle, quote unquote, is like a little bit kind of pathetic. And not like because I wanted it to be a little bit pathetic, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like they just kind of
Yeah.
slap each other a little bit and and she hits him with a chair and it's fine. Like I wanted to take
Okay,
like the
but like,
mystique and like the power out of this guy, show it for like what the sham it was. Like that's the whole thing of the story.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so then like going back to the beginning, I'm like, do I keep this? And I don't know, because like the Lacey and Ellis's relationship, to me has felt very grounded and realistic in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
ways.
Yeah.
And their breakup especially.
Here's my argument for the tone remaining the way it is in the beginning and changing to the end, right?
Hmm.
So, one of the things that I think you could use that to do is to show the growth in her. In the beginning, she is in more of a like comic book esque world, but then throughout the course of the book, she's growing into like a more realized existence, and she is seeing that the world, is in full color and not like comic book contrast, right?
Oh, I love that. Not just the red, yellow, blue that they dots that they use to like
Yes,
create the,
absolutely.
oh, what is the
And
word for it?
I don't
There's a
know.
name for that type of printing.
You'd be the person I'd ask. So
See, not on my head today. It's just gone.
but I think that that could be used as a device to show her growth and like kind of bring like how, I don't want to say again that she's changed, but I can't think of any other way to put it,
No, I
right?
see.
Like,
I like it.
yeah.
I think it does fit very well with her current arc and like her
Hmm.
like the rest of the story. I think I like that for that. My only like snag is that the book is dual POV. Maybe it's not a snag and
Hmm.
I'm just like, overcomplicating it.
I don't know. I think you'd have to sit and like really like ask yourself like how you could keep it the with like the tonal changes and make sure that it continues, that it looks and feels completely intentional to the reader, right?
All right. Yeah.
I think it could be really, really cool if you chose to do it. And you just have to decide like if that's what you want to do or if you want to adjust the beginning or the end to match a bit better. I think the tonal changes could be really cool.
I think I got to come up with a couple like actionable items to like
Mm-hmm.
how to like, create examples of that tone and like put them
Yeah.
on either end of the book and be like, all right, now that's
Yeah.
good enough.
I like that. I think that's fair. Yeah. But then you also have to question, like, okay, so this is a first in series, right? In theory?
No, this is going to be a
This is
standalone. I'm
standalone?
not doing
Okay.
series anymore.
You can't make me.
Yeah. I can be made, but, like, it's gotta be, like, a knockout of the park kinda like, "All right," because I do feel like I didn't buckle down and do I think maybe I tried to buckle down and it just stressed me out too much, and then I, like, kinda gave up with Claws and Cubicles to, like,
Uh-huh.
keep writing them after the 3rd book, 'cause I overstressed on gargoyles, like, it I don't know, I clenched my teeth a lot through that book. Even though I
Yeah.
do love a lot of it, it felt like I didn't know how to hit the same note as the first 2 books, which
Mhm.
and, like, I don't even feel like the first 2 books even hit the same notes, honestly.
I really feel like the world is what ties them together more than, like,
Yeah,
any duplicating.
yeah, and, oh, I do feel like I missed the moment to keep, like to buckle in and just keep writing the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my, like, theory on this. So, I know that I want to write in Grand Ridge because I've written in a couple other places. I've tried a couple other, like, types of books in, like, some ways, right? Like,
Mm,
they're all romantic comedy, they're all rather grounded in reality, but, like, I know that I'm really enjoying this world because I've written in a couple other worlds.
mm,
And I think that it's completely fair for you to make that choice too, to like figure out where you want to write, what you want to write. And the reason that you feel like you haven't maybe optimized on Claws and Cubicles is because like you had this breakout book so early on in your publishing.
mm,
And I think it created pressure that wasn't fair on you as an artist to be business minded because it's what it got you a lot of readership, a lot of like and a lot of attention very quickly, right?
oh, absolutely.
And I think that's incredible, but I also think that it has created almost like a correct me if I'm wrong, it's almost like you're disappointed in yourself
Oh,
for
absolutely.
not
I am
following
a
that through.
goalpost mover for myself. I do it at night and then I
Uh
wake up and I went, "Ah, it's where it was last night."
yeah.
Actively gaslighting myself about
Yeah, that's I
uh
just don't think that's fair.
no, I know, and I'm trying to, like, always get back like, I'm always talking about,
Yeah,
like,
I
I
get
wanna
that.
write for, like, my id and, like, write the things that, like,
Uh-huh.
bring me joy and not focus on, like, the business stuff. I do feel like in some capacity, the reason I keep telling myself these things is, like, because I'm actively trying to steer myself away from being disappointed in myself. Choosing an ideology for myself that I'm constantly preaching that maybe I don't
Mhm.
necessarily wholeheartedly believe in, but it's preemptive in the way in defensive.
So is the ideology that you should write for your id, or is the ideology that is that you should write what is selling? Which are the two ideologies?
It's the idea that I should write for my id that maybe I make that choice because I know I don't have it in me to like lose a competition. I think it would kill
Uh-huh.
me, Cuz like
Yeah.
yeah, you can get so all or nothing.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that yes, I have been disappointed that like I haven't gathered the number of readership I want. I haven't had the amount of sales that I want and like stuff like that. But I think one of the benefits is that I really got to get grounded in like why I do this. Because like if it was for sales, if it was for money, if it was for readership, attention, I would have stopped a long time ago, right?
Mm,
But it's because I like writing my books. I like publishing them because even if I only have 10 people read them, I like having 10 people read them and talk to me about them, comment amongst each other about them, write reviews about them. Like, I like that experience. And
mm,
so, regardless of not having like the mass attention I would like, the small attention is well worth it.
absolutely. I think
And so it's taken like the competition element out of it because if that was what I was doing it for, I would have stopped. But at the same rate, like I definitely see how if I had that experience that you had, I would be having a really hard time not seeing that experience duplicated every single time.
yeah.
That would
Fucking
be fucking hard.
oh, it is.
Yeah, I bet.
It's a little bit of a mind fuck, and I think it really does kind of bring you back to that mindset that the way public you really can't take any of it personally, and you can't let any of it
Mhm.
like you can't convince yourself, oh, I wrote a breakout hit, like, and so I must be a genius at writing. Like, you can't
Mhm.
let yourself fall into that trap because publishing is set self-publishing all books is
Mhm.
if a book gets popular, it's luck. Books that like have massive marketing like teams and funds poured into like the advertising and the influencer, like to get people to read it, like and
Mhm.
review those, like even those books die, you know, like
Yeah.
not like all the power and resources in the world can won't necessarily make a book take off, you know? We've
Mhm.
seen scandals on like book talk of like people trying to recreate it. I think God, I don't want to get the wrong name, so I'm not going to say it.
Mhm.
But like I know there was like someone who tried to manufacture that kind of TikTok virality,
Mhm.
and people mostly remember them for the scandal of that at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. That's embarrassing.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
there's a number of things people have done. There was this one girl who she published a book and then she called a bunch of different Barnes and Nobles, and I think she asked them. She did something that artificially inflated the numbers because the bookstores ordered the books, but then nobody
Mhm.
bought the books from the bookstore. I also could be getting this like kind of
Uh-huh.
wrong,
I mean, but
but
this
then
does seem
that
like a story that would happen.
it made it to the New York Times. Like, I think, like,
Ugh.
they said, "Oh,
Ugh.
this must be the new good book," because, like, the USA Today bestseller kind of, like, lists. It was, like, a New York
Yeah,
Times bestseller, and then they took it off the list when they realized that it wasn't
I remember
actually pulling
this.
in.
Absolutely, absolutely wild. That would be a really interesting, like, hero or heroine to write.
I mean, isn't that basic? I mean, like, I don't want to say that's exactly what Yellowface is about, but I think Yellowface is someone sees an opportunity to like, you know, do some shady shit. I think so. She fakes her race, and then she manages to catch that kind of viral wave for her book.
I don't remember this at all.
Did you
Or
read
I don't.
Yellowface?
No,
I
I
haven't.
didn't.
I've just like I've watched a bunch of reviews about it because they kept popping up for a while.
Hmm.
And so it's on my TBR, like so many books.
I know, right? I still haven't read This Is How You Win the Time War.
Oh my God.
I have to read that
Yeah,
one.
same.
You haven't read it either? Okay, thank
I haven't
goodness.
read it either. I bought it
Okay.
and when they had that like
Yeah,
massive
I own it
surge of
too.
everybody
Yeah,
go read this.
yeah. It's not even that long. I just haven't read it yet. But Kate, should we give our piece of writing advice?
We should,
We
whatever it
should.
is. What was the point of this
Hmm.
episode? I feel like we've wandered all over the map.
God, we have. It's been a meandering.
I'm
Uh,
constantly coming back to this thought that like it really like you can't really see the project you're working on until you've kind of completed the first draft, you know? You can't really
yeah.
see how to like make everything line up and neaten out. And so it's okay to wait till the first draft being done.
Yes, I love that advice. I am toying with because the like editing process of this book has been so fun and the writing happened faster than any other draft I've ever written, right? So I'm
Oh
really
wow.
toying with the idea of like just busting out that first
Mm,
draft and just zooming right through it, right? So that
mm,
I can like really like wander through the woods in my editing process
I love that.
because that's the part I like the best. So my piece of writing advice is to write like the most cliched thing you want to write and like just have
Yes.
so much fun with it. And
Yes.
then after it's written, decide if it has a home in your book.
Mm.
But like let yourself play and be silly, and then when you're done, like you'll be able to know like yeah, totally this gets to stick around. Well, that was a fun little process, and it's
Yeah.
maybe a fun little like writers like a newsletter magnet. Either way, like you'll get to know like was a super fun thing able to live in the book or not. So Kate, where can people find you?
You can find me on Threads, Facebook, Instagram. I think there's one more. But it's all wherever you look for me, just search at by Kate Pryor. All one word. And if I have a handle there, that's what it is. And my website is kate-pryor.com.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok. And I'm thinking Substack's on its way. I've heard really good things about it, and it's like this thing where like I'm like, what is the point of trying to be like ethical in like my social media use, because like ultimately they all just blow themselves up.
It do-
um
so my thought on like this is part of a larger thought, and I'm sorry if I like
okay,
run away with it.
you're fine.
I
Yeah.
think there's been a lot of misguided uh instructions for us to really individualize ourselves. on the level of activism
Mhm.
and organizing,
Mhm.
and it kind of takes the I think the work is misdirected when it becomes about who we are because of what products we buy, what we use. I think that is wasted energy when we tie ourselves in knots over I'm using the bad website, or I'm buying from
Yeah.
Amazon the bad brand, or I'm you know
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think a lot more we've studies have shown that organizing on a community level and getting our local governments to listen to us, our federal government, state government to I know maybe not federal government right now, but
Mhm.
would
The pain.
yeah. Like community efforts, organized efforts to change systems and will always have a bigger impact than these individual little choices that maybe
Mhm.
over time could add up to something, but they don't add up as nearly as much as like years towards persistent effort towards changing some
That's
like
fair.
the actual
Yeah,
systems that we have in place, you know?
that is fair.
Like I think we've had this conversation of like if I don't have a recycling plant in my town or in my I don't know how they space out recycling
Mhm.
plants, but like if one doesn't exist for me to like and for my town to like go to and use its services, then how much like that has a much bigger impact than me personally recycling all my cat food cans, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, and I've also been like again, like I'm struggling with like the idea of like what is a moral choice on my part when it's like the good place, like that
It
whole
is the
like
good place. Oh my god.
theme. Yes.
Yes. It's
So,
fucking
listener,
cheeky
if you haven't
Atagania and
watched The
his
Good
almond
Place, go
milk.
do it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
the almond milk thing really spelled it out for me because it was like, oh, it doesn't matter like how many choices you make. Like someone is always suffering, and like whether you choose or not to buy
yeah.
the almond milk or not doesn't change the fact that someone suffered to bring it to you or to
Mhm.
get it across the globe towards you.
Mhm. Anyway, but yeah, you can find me at Marty V.
Like you guys, sorry, I'll move all that.
You're totally fine. Don't worry. Or am I at author Marty V or Marty V author? I can't remember which right now, listener. So I mean, maybe try both. And then you can find me at martyv.com and you can sign up for my newsletter, which is the best way to keep track of me. And I think I'll be having a new newsletter magnet shortly. I don't know. Kate knows my plans and thoughts and we'll see what happens. So, but yeah, listener, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Love you, listener. Bye.
Bye, listener. Bye.
Bye.
Are you doing your thing? Are you being weird?